Welcome. So this is our first tutorial in a series we're doing. We're warping the reality with Spheroid. We're going to be exporting files today from Blender, and we're going to be importing them into Spheroid for use in AR. So let's check it out. So here's the file right here. This is what we're making. We're making an ocean scene today. So this is it. This is the file we're making. So let's delete this and let's start from the beginning, okay? So Shift A, we're going to add a mesh and we're going to add a plane. So that's the plane right there. Now this is this isn't a beginner tutorial. There's some navigation and things that you'll have to learn in Blender first. And this tutorial kind of expects you to know how to use Blender to begin with. All right. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to add a modifier. We have the plane selected. We're going to add a modifier. We're going to search. We're going to search for ocean. This is the modifier right here. It's at the top because I was preparing for this tutorial with you guys. So we've got the ocean modifier added. Now, I've got the record button here turned on. You see that? So you're going to want to make sure that's on. And we're going to go here to time, and we're going to animate this property. Okay, so we're just going to click that. And we're going to go to frame 100, and we're going to change this property to 20, and we're going to click enter. So that's it. Whoops, and we're going to change the frames in the scene to 100. Okay, so we've got our frame, our plane is animating properly. We could render this right now. We'd have to add a material. But if we export this, this does not export the way that you would think it would. So let's just take a look here. I'm going to export this. We've done this a few times. So export as a GLTF. GLB and GLTF, they're in the same file. One's binary, the other is separate. So one combines all the file, the other file type. So the GLB file type is the type we'll be using. We're always going to be, so for this tutorial, we're going to be merging the actions. So what this does is it changes the name of the animations um, to the same name. So you can have uh, multiple animations happening all at the same time in one sequence. The GLB file, what it does is it lets you put multiple animations. So you can have a walk cycle, a run cycle, you can have an idle animation, all in the same file type. And then you can blend the animation between those and you can do various different things. But today we're going to want all the animations blended together. So we're going to export this as number 13 here. And we're going to take a look and see what the file looks like. Whoops, not that one. This one. Okay, so you can already tell the file's 1 kilobyte, so nothing exported. So it didn't export the animations that we had. So let's go back to Blender and take a look and see what happened. So Blender exports keyframes, I guess is the best way to explain it. So what we need is we need the keyframes so every frame has, or every second has 24 frames. So these frames are very specific to what's supposed to be happening at a specific time. Okay, and you can see here we only have 2 keyframes and the time and the modifier. So how we get this to export to a GLB or a game ready file is we're going to duplicate this first. So first we're going to hit Control D, we're going to duplicate this. And we're going to go collection, we're going to go new, and then we're going to select the duplicated object. We're going to hit M, and we're going to move to collection 1. Okay, so now we have 2 planes, both exactly the same, in two different collections. All right. Now, with the second plane selected, what we're going to do is we're going to go to waves and we're going to scale this down to 0. Now, why we're doing this is we want to export the frames as an MDD or a light wave. So let's select the original file. We'll go File, Export, and we're going to go MDD. Now, this probably doesn't show up on your Blender. This you have to enable in Preferences. So this is a default add-on. It comes with Blender. You just have to enable it. So you just click that and you'll have the MDD export. We're going to go again, we're going to hit the export. We're going to save this in the same file folder. We've done this a few times already. We're going to save that there. Okay. Now, this is the part that usually messes everybody up. So we've got this plane set to 0. Now, what we have to do here is we actually have to apply this modifier. So this is the second plane that we made. This is the duplicate. We applied the modifier. We have it selected. And now what we're going to do is we're going to import the MDD file, the lightwave point cache. We're going to go back to the same. Here we go. This is the one that I made this morning. We're going to import that. And look at that. We've got all of those frames now. So I'm going to hide the original. And let's hit play. All right. So let's hit play. Now, one of the things about Lightwave is it always makes frames in the 0 and one frame out. So there's one frame before and one frame after. You're going to want to delete those frames pretty much every time you make a Lightwave file. So we deleted the first and the last frame. We've got a series of keyframes now. And we're going to go back to frame 0. Now, we're going to export this as a GLB file. We're going to go number 14. And look at that. We have an animated ocean plane that's working as a GLB in the 3D viewer. Okay. Now there's one thing that we have to do before we export this to Spheroid. Now, from what I understand, this has given me so many problems if I don't add a material first. So make sure you add a material before you start exporting this, because for whatever reason, so we're gonna export this again with the material. We're gonna make a new file. Okay, so this file here should work with Spheroid. So I'm going to log into my Spheroid account. I'm going to import the new file. We're going to see how it works in AR. So I'm just going to pause this for a minute and we're going to come back in Spheroid. All right, we're back in Blender. We had one problem we're just going to go back and address real quick before we show you what happened in Spheroid Warp when we exported it. So we didn't delete the plane, the original plane, and it came across in the export. So we're coming back. We're deleting the plane. I'm going to give this, so I'm going to select the plane. I'm going to go shade smooth, and we're going to export this again as GLB. And so now we're going to export this to Spheroid. We're going to take a look and see what it looks like in AR, and we'll see you there. All right, so here we are. We are in Spheroid Warp. We're all logged in, and we're just going to drag and drop the file we made there into this Add Content menu. This is going to load it, give us a preview. There's the preview of our file, and this is our scene. So this is the scene here. I'm not going to get into it too much, but we can hit play. The animation works, and this is our preview here. So this gives us a QR code. We're just going to scan this, and we're going to see what happens when it pops up on our phone. All right, so we'll see you over there.
All right. Nice. Now we have this nice rolling animation of the water and the waves. And exported to Spheroid Warp, no problem. And this concludes our tutorial. Thanks for joining us, and catch us in the next one.